finally home. Feels like a lifetime ago.
Bit drafty, maybe. It's a right improvement over having tree bark in your tadger.
Your tadger?
That sounds painful.
Oh, because he was, yeah, he was in a tree. He was in a tree.
Time to rest.
I'm gonna sleep through winter.
That's what they all say.
Okay, this'll do.
Don't sleep on Mimir.
Way
Yeah.
ahead of you.
Put Mimir someplace nice. Oh, nope. He's laying on him. Mimir's like...
Not even taking off this years later. What?
What was that?
The ball.
They sleep through winters? Odin?
Thor.
Oh.
It's Kratos and Atreus is the new Nap Master. Wow. That was like... Now, that ending was like a Marvel ending.
Okay, hold up. Years later, like, did they sleep that long? Or like, oh, we're just looking at years later. They woke up one day and Atreus hasn't aged a bit.
Yeah, that's the other crazy thing, right? Like, Atreus has not aged at all. It's those good giant genes, you know? Hey.
Weird. Oh, what do you think?
Next time on God of War, Cowboy Thor. No, I really like it. Again, I think from a film perspective, both endings make sense. One that brings up more questions, and one that then kind of gives you a guiding light to what's next. So it'll be intriguing, though, to see whether they take this into DLC territory, and if they do, what they do with that DLC. Otherwise, where they go with a second game, third game, as we can imagine. Now, I would imagine that everything will be able to carry over, I would think, right? Experience and stuff like that. But at the same time, I'm kind of curious because, I mean, by that point in time, by the time, let's say, they come out with a second game, unless they plan on solving everything in a DLC, but I think if they do it in an actual story-based game, will it be able to carry over, especially because it'll be on a new console? Because we're talking PS4 now, but PlayStation's already saying, yeah, there will be a PS5. It's just a matter of when. So when that comes out, it'll be coming out on the PS5 at that point. So it's like a lot of different things going on here, from a story perspective, from a tech perspective.
I wonder how the dialogue will change now that they know so much more. It'll be interesting to see as you like walk around and explore.
Yeah, no, exactly. It'll be interesting to see too, like the change, if they do, the change of age for Atreus too. Like how they implement that, because they'll have to do something unless we're just assuming magic, but you know, the actor is still growing. You know, voices will change, so it's like, do they keep the same actor? Do they get someone else if they decide to keep Atreus somehow youthful all the time? Because he didn't age, like you mentioned, at all in that moment, so.
Yeah, this is a bizarre ending. I'm not much preferred the other ending at this point.
God of War 2, even more boy. Yeah, I very much doubt they'll do a DLC, especially seeing as the game did so well. Yeah, they'd probably just be better off focusing it all into one actual game rather than like an expansion, if you will. It's those god giant genetics. And there's the ending. Well, thank you guys for following us along for this crazy ride that's been God of War. Yeah, I mean, we still have Nilfheim. There's still some like uncovered secrets, right? Some places to find in what is it? Anaheim.
Anaheim.
or not Anaheim. Well, there's Vanaheim is one of the places. But there's Nilfheim, or God, there's Nilfheim, there's Helheim. There, I mean, there's like pretty much all the places still have secrets. Now, my question though is, if they're not going to do a DLC, I almost feel like they have to, now that I think about it. Because Asgard was a place listed on that Realm Traveler, that at the Tree of Life there. But you couldn't get to it. So that there was no way of getting to that. So that, to me, I feel like they almost are planning on doing a DLC of some sort, because they still had Asgard there and Vanaheim there, but you couldn't access it yet. And I feel like, well, why even put that there? Or, I mean, maybe it makes sense, I guess, but like, it even said, like, you can't get to this at this time. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just looking too much into it, and they're just like, well, we want you to know that they're there. We can't just not say they're there. But we're going to have them locked off for the entire game. I don't know. That's the one thing that's got me. Well, yeah, and that's why I'm thinking that, you know, if they weren't there, it'd be a flaw in the design story-wise, but it just seems, I don't know, just how they presented it seems strange, I guess, in a way. But yeah, it could very well be. So I'll be intrigued to see what they have to say, like what they plan on announcing, and it'll be a big announcement, either way. So, yeah, I don't know, what are your thoughts watching it?
It was a great film. that you could navigate through. So that was nice. And I think they did an amazing job from the very beginning. The whole point was to get her ashes there. Everything else sort of felt like a distraction, you know, like, oh, now we gotta fight this dude, oh, now there's Freya, oh, we killed a boar, oh no, this, like, there was all these things. It's like, oh, I just want to get to the fucking mountain. So we got there. But I think because we've been doing so many other things, it felt also like a letdown a little bit. Like, oh, well, we're here. Okay. And then, I don't know. I was just expecting more, I guess. So it just felt very, oh, all right. I guess we go do more stuff. But it makes sense. I guess I wanted more at the same time. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you would... I guess to a point. I mean, I will say I was kind of expecting like Faye's ashes to actually maybe do something.
Yeah,
like,
me
it kind of
too.
had that feeling or setup of like, oh, it's gonna go and do something, but then it just was like, okay, well, we're done. I thought like giants would come back to life or some shit, like something crazy.
Right, or like, yeah, like a box would open up and be like, Loki, here you are. Or something. Like, I just feel like there was so much built up to get to Jotunheim, and then it was like, what was it, like 5 minutes?
Yeah.
But that's not, I mean, like I said, it's still very good. And you can still do things, which is really nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so if you feel like it, or again, like once you beat it, you can always come back to this game a little later and be like, okay, now that I've gotten the story, I definitely want to take on like the Valkyries. Definitely want to see if I can take on Nilfheim.
Yeah.
Or if you find out, hell, there is a DLC coming out, great. This will be, that extra content there should be enough to suffice for a little bit until that DLC comes out. If, again, they do decide to go that route rather than just a full release of a game.
Yeah, but I really love the universe that they created. You know, whether or not you know Norse mythology or other things, whether or not you played the games before, like the other God of War games, it's beautiful. Like, the whole world is awesome. The mechanics and just everything. It's an awesome game.
Yeah, well, and I
think
too, sometimes, you know, we expect action to occur that kind of helps, I guess, close out a story in a way, like something big, some major change.
Right, like a boss you're fighting,
and then all of a sudden, okay, a little bit of that kind of cathartic release. There wasn't as big of a cathartic release here, and I think that's what it is. But I think because they delivered that through other means, like the visuals of seeing all the giants dead in Jotunheim, the discovery that they knew what was happening, and then I think you also have to like piece some of the story previously that has happened, that's been told to us, through to this ending, like how it was. I think Mimir was talking about it, but when they are discussing the idea of the world serpent. and how it seems like in a lot of what's being showed, like it already happened, and then he was like somehow through the fight with Thor sent back into time, even back to the point of like rebirth and creation. Like this sort of world has already happened once, and it's like a new cycle again is happening, which then you could tie it into that idea that that theory or belief that everything kind of has a recycling point, so everything comes around, goes to zero,
How very
wipes.
Mass Effect of you.
Yeah, and then just repeats itself again. Like exactly, like dealing with the Reapers in Mass Effect in a way. So that's very interesting. But yeah, I'll be really interested to see where they take this. I think it was a really good story.
They also did a really nice job of, so, first we were introduced to Kratos and Atreus and the funeral and everything like that. And then we were introduced to Baldur, though at the time we didn't know who he was. And then we were introduced to the dwarves separately. And towards the end here, we got the dwarves to become brothers again. Mm-hmm. We defeated Baldur, and now this. Like, they did a very nice, like, closure loop.
Right.
Story-wise. It's really good.
Well, the one thing I like, too, is the fact that if this was a film, let's say, right, and they tried to do all that storyline, it would feel too condensed. It would feel like there was too much stuff going on at once. And the fact that I never felt once like this game was too grindy or was, or that there was just too much going on, I never felt that. And I think that's a really good sign of storytelling, too, and why this works out so well. Because, again, you've mentioned all these different things. A lot has actually happened, and it's easy to I think, overlook that because of how smooth everything kind of came to a closure and how other things opened up. So it's very easy to I guess overlook all of that and go, well, shit, yeah, actually there was all this stuff that happened. We traveled multiple planes, and there's still the story of the elves too. Like, we don't really know what's happening there. Yeah. So I'm sure there's a lot more explanation and a lot more depth to go into for that, because we just came in toward the tail end of that all. So there's learning that story. There's, again, learning more about Loki and Thor and Odin. We've learned about the giants, but not what has happened to them in Jotunheim. So to discover more of that, there's still plenty more to discover of the Mother Fae as well, and how she plays a role in everything, especially now that we know that she is a giant.
And I love when Kratos is like, she, I guess I'm not the only parent with secrets or something like that. Like, oh, damn.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
We also don't know how she died, do we?
I don't think so. I don't remember hearing it. Just that she did die.
Right, so that's another question.
Yeah.
That's why I did a second playthrough, because the things that are said happen. You're like, oh, that's why. I thought I was special.
She had to come in and take all the credit off, so now she's a giant. Ooh. But yeah, no, again, I think there were a lot of great parts of this and points to be made. I mean, again, it all came together. There was a lot of different things. We experienced a lot, which doesn't feel like in a very long period of time, but it was. It absolutely was. I mean, we went through this with several of the side missions and stuff, which, again, they're not a ton of side missions, which is good. There are side missions, but they unlock slowly over time. And so it never felt kind of like Skyrim, where you just feel like you're grinding side missions because there are so many. And, all the side missions seem to have use. Like, for instance, we learned that something happened to the Valkyries. We learned that someone, for whatever reason, put runes of the Valkyries' names on all the torches at all the towers. And so there's still, like, those questions to be answered, which might actually be answered once we free all the Valkyries.
And go to the council.
And go to the council. So there is still that as well, right?
Yeah, I want to find out stuff.
Yes, there's a lot of different things that have happened and have been introduced, and they've done it in a way where it leaves you questioning, but it feels right where they left it, rather than like this huge gaping hole, and they're like, are you gonna fix that or not? Like, what the hell?
Right, it's like Evil Duck. It's like you said, it's good that you feel like we wanted more, because it shows how good the storytelling is.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, for sure. So yeah, overall, no, I think this was a great game. Gonna hop on out early, feeling a bit weary. Take care all. All right, have a good one, GL. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. We're just kind of letting the credits roll while we give our synopsis.
There are so many. Have a good rest of your day, GL.
And actually what I think we're gonna do here... Call me Ducky, by the way, most do. Plus it's easier than Evil Duck.
Ducky. Ducky of Doom.
How about Ed? Evil Duck. Ed. Ed for short.
Ed.
What's the Evil Duck's name? Ed. Oh. So what I'm thinking, and I want to get your thoughts live and with the audience's stuff here.
Uh-oh. Can't hide my reaction. Also, quick note. There was Japanese voiceover. Huh?
I'm sure if you did, excuse me, if you picked another language that wasn't English.
Oh.
No, the Japanese were alive and well in the Norselands. Yeah, they were all over the place.
The elves' noises, maybe?
Nini poo poo! That is actually...
Is it actually Japan?
Yeah, please, go to a sushi joint and ask for the nini poo poo platter. Delicious. Delicious. No, this one I'm gonna...
living in the U.S. for too long.
So this is what we're gonna throw out here. Yeah, she is European, by the way, so... Yeah. But we're gonna throw this out here. We just finished God of War. We've been playing it for 11 days. That Japanese monologue by the World Serpent.
I swear.
It was all in haiku, too.
At one point, Mimir said something, and I swear it was basically the English words, but he was just drawing them out, and I forget what it is now. But... Statue,
I think.
Oh, right.
Talking about Thor's statue.
Oh, yeah. Like, Thor, statue, or something. You're like, are you saying Thor statue? Is that what you're saying right now? I think you are.
But anyway, so do you get to my point finally here? So I think what we're going to do, because we've been doing this for a while, now, before we got to this, before the release of this game, we actually were playing Rise of the Tomb Raider. And we were getting close to actually finishing up that game, too, to a point. And if you loved this game, I really do think, folks, that you'll love Rise of the Tomb Raider as well, especially because Shadow of the Tomb Raider is coming out as of September 14th to be more specific. And again, if you like games with action like this one, if you like games that have puzzles like this one, rich history, storylines, even though, again, you adapt and kind of mold and play with it to fit the game, the story of the game, then I think you'll really like Rise of the Tomb Raider. So my thought is, because we played so much of this and we had to stop Rise of the Tomb Raider early to make sure that we got this in it when it first released, because we did do a pre-order of it, why don't we, now that we finished this, because we still have time left for the stream today, why don't we go into Rise of the Tomb Raider then, right after this? So we'll take a break. We'll leave you with some past tidbits from our previous streams, and then we can come back to raid some tombs. How does that all sound to you guys? Does that sound good to you? It's now part of the Xbox Game Pass too, if anybody has it. Yeah, get it if you can, by the way. Such a damn good game. The audio, fantastic. The gunplay is fun. What you can do with the guns and stuff, so good. I'm watching it. I'm like, oh, I want to play it. I probably will. I will try to sneak it in off stream. Yeah, because she's the one streaming it. I'm not. She is behind the wheel for that game. Going back to the Cliptastic game, good choice. Yeah, I could tell Tatiana start doing things and blow herself up again. I don't know if we ever actually got that one clipped. I hope we do eventually here. I'll have to dig through the archives.
No, but I feel the same way about this game. You're playing and I was like, oh, I want to play it. So I will definitely be playing it at some point too. Off the stream. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break, just a few minutes, just to caffeinate, hydrate, stretch a little bit, give you all a chance to do the same, wash your eyes again of the stream a little bit. And we'll leave you with some video, of course. And then when we come back, let's do some Rise of the Tomb Raider. Again, as Keelan points out here, we might actually have 2 game endings today. No pressure.
That's crazy. That's crazy talk.
We're that far in, really?
Yeah, we're
kind of forgot.
Pretty meaty. We're into it. We're down to the bone of said game.
I'm gonna have to. I haven't played it since we started playing this game, so I'm not really. I have to give me 10 minutes to get the controls right too when we first start, because I'm gonna fuck it up.
But hey, thank you so much for joining us, Evil Duck. Appreciate that. Have a good rest and everything. Completely get being tired. Totally get that. I know it's getting later for you over there. But thank you again. Always good to see you. So feel free to come on back. Love to have you here. Chat with you more about games. And especially, again, if we're doing Tomb Raider. And just to let you know, too, Thursday, we're doing Conan Exiles. So if you have that game, let us know. Feel free. And then on Friday, we're going to be announcing a game that day. Saturday, our talk show, talking about left and right brain topics. And then Sunday will be, I guess, more Rise of the Tomb Raider if we don't finish it. Otherwise, we'll actually be going into Mad Max. So if you haven't checked that game out, Sunday is going to be the day for you.
So excited for that one too.
It's gonna be fun, and we'll continue to also keep doing these game breakdowns because I like having this discussion after we finish the game and be like, okay, what are our thoughts? Like, what's going on here, and get your guys' perspective on it too, especially if you've already played it and have been like chomping at the bit, as the American saying goes, at saying something about it. You know, like basically biting through your fingernails. That would be the perfect time to talk about it as well.
I also like it because it gives me closure on some of these games. Like, you play them for so long, you know, and then they're just over. And then even if you go back and do mission stuff, I always feel like, I need to talk to someone about this. Like, let's relive the whole game. Okay, ready? Go.
Exactly right.
This is fun.
Mad Max is a great game. Perfect. All right. Well, have a good night, Evil Duck. Thanks again for stopping by.
See you, Ducky.
Fused Fury Conan. That's right, Infused. If you want to play with us on Thursday, let us know. We will be doing it on stream, of course, Thursday, 1 p.m. PDT. And we will be probably just, really what we're trying to do right now is build our base, scout out for more iron resources, potentially add on to more of the map, just kind of explore a little bit more. And we can even help you with some of your core soft skills, if you will, building yourself up with your strength, your stamina, and everything else. And we can even work with you to help you out with anything else that you need to for skill base wise.
Yeah, and you can, if you want, you can join our clan. It's called the Kitty Clan.
That's right.
And then you actually have access to, or like anybody in the same clan has access to the houses, the resources, the storage, like all that stuff. So
yeah, and
if you want.
The reason why we're focusing so much on the location too is we're trying to build it out because we know that, again, people will come in, will want to play, and if they want to be part of this clan, we'll have a big enough space for everyone, as well as the fact that we are trying to guard ourselves a bit because there is this thing now that they've implemented called the purge. So there's a purge meter when you go into your inventory. There's a purge meter below your character, and as soon as it fills up, that means that based on the area that you're kind of like fortress or again, depending on the size or hut is at, it will be attacked. So depending on the area, like in the Oasis, it's going to be lower level things. Typically, like level 3s or 5s or 10s or something like that. Every once in a while, depending on the purge, you might get some harder, but really it's the more north that you go, the harder the purge is. So you might get like some shalebacks, which are these giant turtle creatures attacking, and you might get some exiles attacking. Otherwise, you could get giants, frost giants up in the north attacking your location. And I think some of the purge is to keep you constantly guarding and giving you a challenge to your own home locations, but it also helps clear out the map. So if people don't have fortresses anymore, like they're not using them, but they're still up, or if people don't play the game anymore, but they built these huge fortresses, it's a way of the game to kind of clean itself while still having something that is a part of the world, rather than just saying, oh, I blinked, okay, now everything's gone again, we did a server wipe. No, they just have creatures do the server wipe for them,
And you know what I think about that?
I think it's dumb.
I think it's dumb.
I like it because it gives another challenge from the PvE perspective. Because otherwise, like PvP, you're constantly building defenses, right? Because someone can raid your camp, can kill all your thralls and steal all your shit. But if you're PvE, which is what we are right now, we don't get that, right? And so to have this purge is actually kind of nice because it does bring that element out. She's like, I think it's dumb.
I think it's so dumb. I'm just saying, like, I think they could have... I get what you're saying. It definitely makes sense from a game perspective that, like, oh, this is why it happens. Like, things come and attack you. But if that was a mechanism for them to clear it out, I just think that they could have found something better. Whoa, there's more.
Atreus, are you ready?
Yeah, but I had the weirdest dream. Fimbulwinter was ending, and Thor came for us. Here at the house.
It was only a dream.
But it felt different. It felt real. It felt like the future.
Then we will worry about it tomorrow.
Oh.
Today, there are still things we
That's
can
why
do.
he didn't age.
Come.
So it was like a premonition, maybe.
There you go. And then you could go back to fight everything else. That was President Day. So that was okay. That there we go. Well, that makes a little bit more sense then.
That explains it. Thank you, After Credit Surprise.